Hello, my name is Nelson Gomez, and we will be working with the solutions or the solution for the exam retake for the course CE ARN 3301. Okay, first I would say that for each problem, I would recommend that you try to do it first. So now, instead of watching how to solve it, try to do it again and make sure that you try your best to do it well. After that, yeah, just unpause the video and continue doing it. So please pause the video now, try to do the problem, and then come back and see how it should be done. Okay, let me read the problem. Our researcher wanted to understand the general level of happiness of students in relation to their grades. The analysis of results from a survey made from a sample of 350 university students is summarized below. Answer the following question based on these results. What is the probability for 20 randomly selected students to have good grades? Okay, here we have a contingency table. Let me just explain the table first, where you will see different levels of happiness, in this case, high, medium, and low, and different levels of grades, in this case, good or bad. Now, those levels are really arbitrary in the end, but what it means is that you can read, for example, that 269 students have a high levels of happiness, and you can also read here that 89 students have bad grades, and also you can read here that there is a group of students, 5 students, that at the same time have medium levels of happiness and good grades. So that's how you read this type of table. Okay, in total, we have 350 students. So the question here is, what is the probability for 20 randomly selected students to have good grades? So the idea here is, if you select 20 students randomly, what is the probability that all of them have good grades? And the way to do that, or the logic behind it, will be something like this. I'm going to show you how to really do it, but the logic behind it is, for example, what is the probability that the first student you find is a good student? Well, if I'm talking about the first only, it will be 261 over 350. Why over 350? Because we have 261 good students from a pool of a total of 350 students. Therefore, the probability that the first student that you select for that student to be a good student, to have good grades, will be 261 over 350. Now, if we continue this logic, the probability for the second student to have also good grades, the second student you select, now is going to be something like 260 over 349. Why? Because you already took out one of the good students. So now you don't have 261 students that have good grades. You only have 260 students with good grades. And in the total of students, instead of being 350, now is 349. If you continue that pattern, and you do that a few times, 20 times to be exact, you will keep doing something like this. Now, that will be very cumbersome and prone to error, and highly likely your calculator is going to explode before you being able to calculate that. If you remember, in class, we went over permutations and combinations. And permutations refers to all the ways you can select members from a group. All the ways you can select members from a group where the order is important, where selecting one first versus the other makes a difference. That's permutation. And we also talk about combinations. Combinations are the ways you can select people or things from a group where the order is not important, okay? So it's the same thing if you selected one person first and another person first, or another thing first, okay? So let me erase this. Can I erase it with this? Yes. Let me erase this and let me show you how the idea behind it. Okay. So if you remember the combination is something like NCR on your calculator, right? If you remember that, the way we work with that is that from 261 good grade students, we will select 20 of those, okay? From the 261 students, we will select 20 of those, and that will be the number of ways we can select good students, okay? That's the number, the quantity of ways we can select good students. Now, we want to be able to divide that by all the possibilities of selecting students. And because we have 350 students in total, the combination for finding 20, that will include all the possible ways of getting 20 students. So here we have all the ways you can select 20 good students, and here is all the ways you can select 20 students, including the bad and the good grade students, okay? So if you divide those, you will get the probability that you need here, okay? Now, in your calculators, if you remember, it should be like 261 NCR. It depends on each calculator. But if you are doing it mathematically, it will be like 261 20 over 350 20, because we are using the choose function. Okay. And the answer to this, after putting it in the calculator, will be, okay, 0.0023. So this will be the answer to this question. Excellent.